WA6LOL, Sonora. Are you hearing me, Dave? WA6LOL, K6USY. Hello, Nevada, over there, WA6LOL. You know, I have a noisy street light trying to start up here and kind of blasted you, but I heard CW, and I get you about 100 degrees here, WA6LOL. Yeah, it's funny when I go direct on you, I don't really, it doesn't work as well. I bounce off the side at about 100 degrees.
Yeah, I think I find I think we hear each other best when we're both pointed south. Maybe I'm backscatter or something over.
K6USY, KM6SR, sounding a little weak, but you're in there good there, Aaron, KM6SR. Roger, Roger. Yeah, we'll do that for you. No problem. Hey, it looks like vertical. You're losing a little 20 dB there, huh? Anyway, hey, I had one question for you if you got a minute. I wanted to know what size strut you use for your mounting your antenna. Did you use a standard thickness, or did you use the deeper strut? Over. Okay, that sounds good. We're going to do something like that, I think, over at Marcus's place there. All right, have a good trip back to your QTH, K6USY, KM6SR.
KM6SRR, N6SWR. KM6SRR, N6SWR, November 6th, Sugar Whiskey Radio.
Yeah, I hear you, Ben. I was talking to Aaron local here. Just a second. Okay, Aaron, 73s. Go ahead, Ben.
Roger that. I'm sorry. I couldn't hear him. I thought you were finished with that part of the conversation. My apologies. Check me into the net when you guys get around to it. I'll be listening. I'll come back if I hear anybody.
Okay, Ben. N6SWR, KM6SR. Sounds good there. Thanks for being there. We'll be standing by.
Well, hi, Rob. Did you get that tower up yet?
Become Bozo. You can get your number and you become one of us.
KM6SRR, WA6LOL.
Hi, Dave, WA6LOL, KM6SR. I'm picking you off the back of the antenna, so you dropped all the way out, and now you're back. Over.
Oh, yeah, you came up really good. You're booming in right now. Yeah, so did you get all that stuff home okay?
Yeah, just finished unloading the stuff off the truck and trailer today. Over.
Must have been a real problem trying to tie down all that random stuff. Did you bring a tarp and do it that way?
You kind of faded out. I got random stuff doing it that way, and that's all I got. Over.
Oh, I was just saying it must have been a real problem trying to tie down all that random stuff.
Oh, yeah, tying it down. Well, yeah, Ted helped me put it in the cab, what we could fit in there, and I goofed up on a picture, a big picture, didn't have it tied down good, and it blew off, and I think it landed on Herndon because I saw a bunch of pieces on the way back looking for it, so Marcus didn't care, so that picture's history. Over.
Yeah, you faded out, so I didn't really get that. So, okay, well, don't turn your antenna around. Keep it down there. I'll wait for the net here. Wait for Mike. KM6SRR, going to stand by. WA6LOL. Over.
I'm here.
There he is. Hello, Mike.
Good evening, Mike. K6 NYC, KM6SRR.
Kilo Golf 6, Charlie Echo Fox.
Good evening, Daryl. KG6CEF, KM6SR.
KM6SRR. Hiya, Rob. Hey, you sound real good tonight.
Roger, thank you. You're sounding good, too, there. Okay, Mike.
Hello there, KM6SRR, Rob, KJ6TYO 1009 saying hello, and to Daryl up there also.
Evening, Ronnie.
Good evening.
Yeah, K6TYO, good evening, Ron, good signal. What is it, 1090 or 10 I forgot your number.
1009, so yeah, 1009, I don't know, hard to remember that one, 1009.
Good to hear you in there, Ron, KM6SR.
Alrighty, good to hear you guys, and yeah, we'll catch you later. We're going to go sit out here in the evening coolness here and with the wife and have a nice cool drink.
Sounds good there, Ron. Have fun. KM6SR.
Okay. I'm getting caught up here with the log. Sorry for the delay here. Had a little bit delay in the dinner this evening, so I'm a little bit late here. Anyway, beautiful day, warm. I got a cat that's just telling me about it. What's the matter, buddy? I gave you food. He doesn't want food. He wants attention. He's telling me, asking me if the dogs are gone, and I said the dogs are gone, but he doesn't believe me. Anyway, I'm pointed down toward Bakersfield, so let's see if Ben is in there. N6 Sugar Whiskey Radio, N6SWR, Bakersfield, DMO5, K6MYC.
KD6MYC. Hey, Mike, how are you doing? N6SWR, Delta Mike 05, Bozo 247.
Yeah, booming in, Ben. It sure helped to raise that antenna. You're consistently very strong up this way now. So you're doing really good. I know. You can probably hear my cat in the background here. He is just upset with me. I gave him wet food and dry food, and he's not happy. He wants attention. Anyway, you're sounding good, Ben. Over to you, Rob.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Yeah, Ben checked in a little earlier there in case he couldn't hear anybody, so I talked with him. We got him checked in there. Also got Dave, WA6LOL, checked in, and Aaron checked in mobile. He's got the radio and everything going. He's going to head home from his parents' house there, KM6SR.
W6BBS72, you can add to the list while you're writing. Good evening, Rob. Good evening, Mike.
Good evening, Frank.
Hey, Frank, what's the name of the road that you're at the end of?
Skyline Ridge Court.
Or a Hell's Highway, as the case may be.
You got taken out there, Mike.
I said, or Hell's Highway, as the case may be.
Okay.
Well, that 2-lane 41 is dangerous.
What's dangerous, Daryl?
Oh, Highway 41, you know, being a 2-lane highway.
Okay. Anyway, good to hear you, Ben. Like I say, good signal up this way. Maybe there'll be some others to give you follow-up reports here. But certainly working better since you raised it. Have you had any other thoughts on what to do with 432? You got a good signal to Visalia, but for some reason we can't get it the rest of the way.
Yeah, I just don't have enough power. You know, all I got is 50 watts, and you know, truly, I don't even know if another 50 or 100 would make much difference.
No, it probably wouldn't. We should hear you. That's why I'm baffled when you drove over to the other location and you were 20 over 9 in Visalia, why it didn't propagate up here. That was weird. Unless there's some sort of blockage or something. Anyway, not to worry. I know you tried, and maybe you can continue to at least check in with Bill there. Even if you can, maybe you can get it so it works from your QTH and you don't have to drive 2-3 blocks away. You should be able to get to Bill. If you point right for him, you should be able to get to him with your power. Anyway, let's see if there's anybody else down there. How about KG6BRG? I don't know if he's ever going to show up again. That's Scott down there in Lake Isabella, and KB6RQU has just disappeared completely from the map here. I suspect you never did get a chance to call KB6RQU, did you, Rob?
No, I forgot about that. I'll have to try.
Okay. I enjoyed your cookie, by the way. I had one today. I didn't get one yesterday. I forgot one last night. We were going to have one before we went to bed, and we got off to bed and never got any cookies. But I had it today, and they were very, very nice selection there.
All right. Glad you enjoyed them.
I'm enjoying one so far, and I'm hoarding them.
They got more, Mike. We can arrange that.
Oh, do they? Where do they come from?
Those I saw looked really good in Walmart, so I picked them up there.
Yeah, okay, very good. I thought it looked like a Walmart or a Sam's Club carton. All right, and we expect. I've got Aaron checked in, K6USY. You're checked in, Aaron, if you're copying in the car. Anyway, you're all checked in, and I guess I should check in K6ZKA as well.
Mike, if there were only 11 cookies in there, it's the new dozen.
Biden dozen, is it?
Well, I was just teasing because I saw a box of cookies on Rob's truck on the front seat when I got some tools, and I snuck one. And I told Rob to tell Mike, if he counts them, tell him 11 cookies is the new dozen.
Well, okay. I didn't count.
Well, then I didn't need to say anything, huh?
That's right. You should have shut the hell up.
Well, there you go.
Yep. Okay. Well, I don't know. We didn't see any weird experiences today on 6 meters. I didn't see anything yesterday. After Friday night, we had quite a display of FAI, field aligned irregularities. I don't know if you guys have you caught that or not, Dave. But 6 meters was open to well, it's a blob of something. We don't know what it is, but everybody points toward this blob that's just north of Colorado, a few hundred miles. And signals go in there and they come out sounding like they're in a waterfall. But everybody can work everybody on 2 meters. I was working all the way down into Los Angeles off the back of the beam through the Colorado bounce. Over.
I'll be darned. I'll have to find out more about that from you. I don't never heard of anything like that. Today, 6 opened up in the afternoon over the last several hours here to just Texas and just Arizona and like that. And then it opened up into Canada some. And then, so I worked Canada and Mexico, but really it wasn't worthwhile. I didn't call you because it wasn't really any kind of a worthwhile opening. But yeah, it's acting kind of funny that the other day it opened to Canada and Mexico at the same time. Or no, it was New Zealand and Canada at the same time.
Yeah, that's a weird one. Might have been 2 different modes of propagation. The New Zealand one's transequatorial, probably. The Canada stuff and all the stuff around the States is E-skip. We're in the E-skip season now. So for the most part, that'll be E-skip. But the FAI, you might look it up, Field Aligned Irregularities, FAI. 6 meters, I was working all over the place, but you can do the same thing on 6. When you hear it on 6 and you quickly go over to 2 meters, and I used to work Arizona, New Mexico, Washington, Oregon, and a couple of other places up that way. Everybody points to the blob over Colorado, and we talk like everybody's underwater, and the CW sounds like
I'll be darned. Yeah, I'll look it up. I wrote it down here, and so I know a lot of guys on the moon here are talking about how the aurora, I guess they were using the aurora to bounce, much like meteor scatter, or maybe a different, like the ionosphere maybe. But anyway, they were using Q65C, which is a real long kind of a sequence, and but I didn't work any of it.
Why don't you just get on and talk? It's easier.
Well, there you go. I actually have been when I hear, because I've heard you down on 110, and then I think I heard you on 313 one day hollering, but I'm not sure. But I think that I think it was sidebound there around 312 or something maybe, and but I do jump down at 50.110 when I see it come in down into New Zealand and Australia, but I don't. That one day I heard Chile, but and I heard you work them, but I haven't been able to work anybody.
Yeah, I know, it's pathetic. I've worked the one station on 50.110. That was Chile, and he had a great signal, and he called CQ for a long time, but everybody's got their head rammed. Anyway, field FAI is going to go the same way. Some of these wild propagations that occur are not going to be taken advantage of because the guys just got their head up their ass. Over.
Well, yeah, it seems that way. I should have called that guy in Chile after you got done working him, but he was off the back of the antenna, I think.
Well, Chile for us is about 155, 160. That's the direct path to the south, of course. All right, let me see who else may be collecting in here before we get on over to the Bay Area, and also see if Ron is in here in the Atascadero tonight, maybe even Eric. QRZ, San Joaquin Valley, K6 MYC Bozo Net. All quiet, okay. Maybe we should go to Atascadero.
Kilo 6 Victor Bravo Golf 971.
I got you, 971. You're not in Atascadero, but I'll take you.
Hey, Roger, Mike. Happy Mother's Day, by the way.
Good evening, Dave. K6VBG, KM6SR.
Good evening, Rob.
Okay, I'm rotating toward Tascadero. KW6QUI. I usually don't have to even turn over your way before you hear me. W6QUI, are you in there tonight, Ron? K6MY.
I'm here. Good evening, Mike. I may not quite be on frequency yet, but hearing you. This solar flare, I think, is even lifting up to me a little bit, but I do copy. So, yeah, I also need to check Eric in. He will be unable to check in tonight. Okay, T6MYC, W6QUI.
Okay, W6QUI and KN6EIV, Eric. Got you both checked in. Thank you very much, Ron. I don't think the solar event has much to do with what we're seeing here. Signals are down a little bit, but that could be anything. I don't think it. The solar flare stuff usually doesn't affect the troposphere or the ionosphere very much. Well, it affects the ionosphere, but we're not using that one, luckily. And anyway. But too bad you didn't get on Friday night. We had a big opening on 2 meters all over the place, but you would have been able to work easily into Nevada and other places. We tried to get more people on, but nobody knows about FAI, the field aligned irregularities. I'm sure you know of it. You've been around long enough. You should know about FAI that starts out on 6, but it also has a great effect on 2 meters. I've worked all over the western states on 2 meters, pointing toward Colorado, or a little blob of whatever it is. We don't know what it is north of Colorado, but everything lights up, and it sounds like you're bouncing signals out of an auroral zone, just like you're coming out of the auroral zone north, but it occurs over Colorado for some reason. And it's called field-aligned irregularities. You may be aware of it, Ron, over.
Not really. Yeah, I don't think I've heard of that. Interesting. Well, I've been working at the museum the last 4 days. I've been late coming home, so I wouldn't even have been here. The car show turned out real great, and I spent 4 hours out there today cleaning up the mess that everybody left. So somebody has to do it, I guess. Okay. Yeah, the Aurora sure has messed up the HF. HF schedule was really marginal tonight, so be glad when this thing clears up and goes away. And I was hoping to see the Northern Lights. I'm fogged in at the moment, so I'm not going to even have a chance at that tonight. Last night it was clear, but I didn't see anything. I wonder if you guys spotted any of that over there, over?
I haven't looked, but normally what we've seen in the past, in 1980, 89 and 90, one of those years, I was living in Madeira with Matt just temporarily till we bought a house over here. And we had great aurora. The whole sky to the west and north turned red, and it stayed red until 9 or 10 o'clock that night, but that was aurora. Unfortunately, I didn't have a radio. I was temporary, moved down from the Bay Area, and I didn't have anything to get on with, so I missed it. But it's not a big deal to work aurora. You usually can work people that on the same people you work on other bands and other modes, so it's no big deal other than it's a rarity. FAI is different. You can work people that you can't hear on aurora, and it's a little easier to work FAI. So Richard caught it, KD6BQ caught it, and I was looking on 6 meters, and I saw this spike on phones on 50.130. For some reason, he didn't go to 125. Maybe he didn't want to get on the calling frequency, but he should have been. But at that point, we didn't move him. We left him there, and then he worked to 3 or 4 other people. We had Larry in here from Nevada. We had Richard from Nevada. And I worked all the way down to Gordon, WB6NOA, in Palos Verdes, but he was pointing toward the blob of whatever it is above Colorado, and I was pointed that way, so we weren't even pointed at each other, but it shows you the kind of propagation you can get on 2 meters if you get this FAI effect. Anyway, back to you, and then we'll move on up. And thank you very much for coming in. I know you're probably tired and worn out from the car show. I'm glad it worked out well. Too bad you had to end up cleaning up all the trash. W6QUI. Let's see. Does anybody else want to say hello to Ron? Go ahead now. K6MYC.
Good evening, Ron. W6QUI, KM6SR. How you doing?
Excuse me, except for a cough I have, I can't get rid of. I'm doing fine, Ron. Good evening to you, W6QUI.
Okay, thanks for being there, Ron. Okay, Mike.
Okay, yeah, I'll let you guys head north or wherever you're going, so I'll look for you Tuesday, W6QUI 73.
Yeah, I don't think you have anything for 6 or 220, so maybe we'll see you, well, maybe you'll be on Tuesday. You think you'll make Tuesday 1296?
Roger, I'll be here Tuesday.
Okay, well, we'll tell Bill. I may not hear you, but Frank might be here on Tuesday. He might be able to work you up here, and of course, Bill and Mike, WA6AAJ, so hopefully we'll see you on Tuesday. Thanks, Ron. Thanks for checking in. W6QUI, K6MYC, now going to Monterey.
Okay, 73.
73. Okay, and here we are over toward Monterey. WA6LIE, WA6 London, India Echo, K6MYC. Scott, are you there? I wonder if maybe he's still working 6 meters if it's open. Where did you say a band was open on 6? Was it to the Pacific somewhere, Dave?
This afternoon, just about all afternoon, it was open to, let me see, New Mexico first and Arizona, and then it went out from my location anyway, out to Texas, and then it went around to Canada, and then down into Mexico.
Okay, well, Scott probably wouldn't be too concerned about the E-skip. That's pretty much consistent from year to year in terms of it being there. Some years are better than others for E-skip, but this always occurs at this time of the year, and it goes on through mid-July and later. But it peaks somewhere around the end of June, early July. So there you are.
Yeah, I didn't bother to give you a heads up on that because it was just not very far away.
No, I appreciate it. I don't need to know about E-skip. Something weird happens. You hear weird fluttery signals that aren't coming from where they're supposed to be. That's a reason to make a call. Over.
Yeah, I'm on the internet right now. I found some stuff on Google Scholar has some stuff about that field aligned irregularities, so I'm trying to understand what I'm reading.
Okay. Well, what I'm concerned about, or curious about, not concerned, but curious as to why and what is the mechanism. Is there some kind of a strange perturbance in the magnetic field that occurs over Colorado or north of Colorado in the next state up or something? Because it's always in the same spot. I always point from here. I always point to 60 degrees, plus or minus a few degrees. It's quite broad, but it's quite obviously somewhere right close to 60 degrees. Colorado for me is 75, 77 to 75. So it's north of Colorado somewhere there, but not much. Anyway, keep an ear out for it. And it sounds like everybody's underwater. WA6LOL, K6MYC, looking for WA6 London, India Echo.
Hey, very good evening to you, Mike, WA6. You're sounding good. Not too much activity on 6 meters. All the bands are all stinko. Except me. There wasn't any activity on the high bands except for 20. But, we were just down the top of the DK9DX. Having a couple a few guys with a little bit here and there, but that was about it, Mike. Other than that, it was kind of dead over.
Okay, well, the band's apparently been open all afternoon, but it's all e-skip around the state, so maybe that's why you're not too excited about Canada, Mexico, Texas, stuff like that coming in. But it's just e-skip. And I guess you didn't get in on the FAI opening that was on Friday night, right?
You know, I got into LP on Friday night, so I worked a bit here and there, but yeah, what can I say? Yeah, there was a lot of the local stuff, the local sporadic stuff, you know, typical for the summer year, and that's about it today.
Well, FAI, do you know what does that? No, everybody was on sideband. I don't know. Somebody said you can work some kind of weird JT65 Charlie with FT8, but or that type of thing. But it's easier just to get on and talk. It's garbled. And so the decodes, I'm sure, are screwed up because it's all garbled frequency-wise. There's about all kinds of Doppler shift, multiple Dopplers shifts, so frequencies and audio sound really funny over.
Oh yeah, a lot of you do that quite regularly. We didn't see any more down here, obviously, because we're too foggy, but just got in the right place at the right time. One of these years, I hope to see the world before I die, Mike.
Yeah, you don't see FAI. You do not see FAI. It is not Aurora. It's just a blob of something out above northern Canada or northern Colorado or the state north of Colorado that everybody points toward that spot and the signals bounce in and out of that. But they sound like Aurora, but it's not Aurora. It's field-aligned irregularity, over.
Okay, copy. I remember looking at back around 2000, I think October 2000. And we had a lot of activity then. Yeah, I just kind of pointed one direction with everything. Okay, very good, Mike. Well, I'll take advantage of what we can. You know, it is going to be in the right place at the right time, go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. Now just keep an eye on it. If you run your spectrum display wide enough, you can see 50.110 and also 50.313. And that's what I do. That way I can see band openings no matter where they occur. I can see the sideband if it comes up. And that's what I heard. I heard sideband on 130, a big spike from Nevada, over.
Okay, copy that, Mike. I'll keep an eye on that. Very good. I've been spending a lot of time on the other side down on FT8, a little bit frequency higher. That seems to be where popularity is. But at least I got a couple of receivers over.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it may be hard to, if you don't have a spectrum display, it might be hard to see stuff going on different parts of the band unless you can tune there. All right, well, good luck with it. Hopefully we'll get some more of that. It's possible that we could have another one later tonight. 7-3, Scott, we'll see you tomorrow on 6. WA6LIE, K6MYC clear, and looking for KW6 sugar.
K6MYC, KW6S. Yeah, I'm here, and I didn't find anybody on 6 all day today, so I'm missing out somehow.
Okay, well, maybe you, I don't know, they were not on the phone. I think there was Dave, WA6LOL, and Sonora reports openings all over the states on the western part from Canada down into Mexico, and even somebody coming in from New Zealand. So, but Canada, Texas, Arizona, all that kind of stuff, e-skip for the most part, except for maybe the New Zealand might have been trans-equatorial. Over.
Yeah, I didn't really find much. I saw a lot of stuff being spotted on the east coast of the U.S. and down in New Mexico and so forth, and I never found any of them on phone or on on FT8.
I'll be darned.
pointed down and called CQ towards New Zealand for quite a while. Didn't find anything there. And I've just been following the SFI, which is still at 222, but the A is at 65. So, and it was like at 230 something yesterday. So I don't. Those numbers are so out of whack. I don't really know what they mean.
Well, they mean there's a magnetic disturbance that won't quit, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get an earthquake over the next 5 or 10 days. Usually, it's this kind of a stress. It's a magnetic field stress on the Earth's magnetic field, and usually it releases tension or makes tension, creating, it makes a disturbance on earthquake faults. So it's not unlikely to have an earthquake or multiple earthquakes in various places. So, but it doesn't always occur right on the day that you get the stress. It sometimes occurs after by a few days. Anyway, hopefully it won't be anything serious. All right, very good, Tom. Well, listen, we'll let you go, and maybe we should see if Lee is in there tonight. I wonder if Lee has made it tonight. KB6LEE, K6MYC in the Bozo Net. Now it's time to get out the pointy stick, Tom.
Yeah, very well. I will give him a prod here later tonight. See what we can do. Maybe get him on tomorrow night on 6. Yeah, very well. I will let you get on with the net. K6MYC, KW6S.
Okay. By the way, the beacons are off currently because it's been so hot here. We were almost 90 today. And it's so hot in the shack where Frank has the beacons that they had to turn them off. He's got 3 inverters for solar panels in there and 2 radios and maybe 1 or 2 other things. But it just got so hot in there, the radios were drifting all over the place. So he wanted to, thank you. He wanted to take advantage of that. Anyway, back to you, Tom. And he didn't want to take advantage of it. I'm sorry, I was distracted here. Judy came out and brought some water to me. No, he wants. I'm hoping that he didn't get too discouraged because the beacons are not there. If it cools down a little bit, then Frank will probably turn the beacons back on. But right now, he's got to come up with some other way to cool that building. He's afraid to leave the doors open because rodents will get in there. But I don't know if rodents would get in there in the daytime. What? Hang on just a second. Let me talk to Judy a second. Okay, I'm sorry. Interruption there. Anyway, no problem. Anyway, the beacons will be on when he can put them on, but right now it's just been too hot, so don't get disturbed if you don't hear him, Tom. KW6S in the group, K6MYC.
Yeah, very well. I hear the... I could just barely get the 432 one, but I get the 2-meter one pretty well, so... hopefully he'll, when he has one on, he'll have both of them on so I don't go hunting for one that isn't there. But, yeah, it's quite the service. I'm looking forward to that getting proven and all getting the kinks worked out. I will, I've got a other little project I'll kick around with you one of these nights. I've got a 2800 rotor to do some repairs on, and I've only seen the inside of one of those at the show, so or at Visalia, so I may have questions once I get in there. K6MYC, KW6S.
Yeah, well, I can repaired a lot of them, so he can also help you. So can Ken, WA60YB, and I certainly can help. And you can always call the plant if you have any questions that don't get answered timely here on the net. You don't want to wait for your answers to come through the net sometimes. What's wrong with the rotor as you know it?
Oh, it's pretty bashed. The bolts are stripped out on the bottom of it, and not in ways that helicoils are going to fix it. And then the top shaft is really loose in the housing, so I don't quite know what that's bad about yet. But we replaced it with another one, and this one I'm going to try to get put back together as the backup spare.
Okay. Yeah, maybe that the bottom housing has to be replaced. If they're so bad that you can't get helicoils in there or drill them out, then you may just have to replace the whole bottom casting. Maybe you can make 4 out of the 6 bolts work, unless they're all cracked and broken. So 4 out of 6 is usually adequate. But you got to keep those bolts tight. Boy, if the bolts loosen up, then they work sideways, and that's what cracks them. So however that happened, they weren't maintained properly as far as maintenance and tightening and stuff. The outer shaft coming out, is it wobbly, or is it got a lot of extra slop in the rotation?
It's wobbly. It doesn't seem to have the slop in the rotation. That's what's happened before. This is, I think, the fourth shaft since 2001.
Weird. Well, the early ones didn't have splines. The current one has splines, but that only is a bearing. That's a very simple bearing that it passes through in the neck of the upper housing, and there's no other reason it would be wobbly. It's wobbly without that bearing. If the bearing isn't there or broken, it's going to be wobbly. Otherwise, it should be stable, because that's the only thing. There's a bottom bushing that goes in the middle plate, the center torque plate that's in between the two halves. There's a 1-inch diameter bronze bushing in there that the bottom of the shaft or the big gear goes through, and then the upper is centered with a bearing that just drops in. It's a thrust bearing that goes at the top outside the unit. It actually goes in from the outside.
Yeah, that seems to be bad, so I don't know what I'm going to get into when I get in there. It's been turning one of your 4-element 40s for quite a while, and I think that's all it's had on it. And it's got a thrust bearing, I think, 15 feet above it, and then the antenna's maybe 10 feet above that. But yeah, it'll be interesting when I get in there. I used to repair some of the ham rotors for the old CDEs, and this one is quite a different step up. So this will be fun with getting into this one.
I can almost tell you why this happened. If you have 10 inches or 10 feet of mast inside the tower and only one thrust bearing at the top of the tower, that is really hard on a rotor, because when the mast bends on the outside of the tower, it bends inside the tower, and then it bends back and forth, and it flexes the top of the rotator massively over.
Yeah, that could be the case. I think there's 10 feet above the tower top, and I think there's only one thrust bearing, and and then the rotor's 15 feet below the top of the tower.
No, that's the wrong place for it. It should be up closer, and there should be a thrust bearing down about 2 feet or 3 feet below the top thrust bearing, and you'll never have another problem. Over.
Well, very good. I'll make that suggestion, and we'll try to figure out how to do that. We have to do a repair on that 40-meter 4-element at some point, and that might be the time to do it.
But that's what causes those things. This big, people don't realize that the mast flexes inside the tower. When you bend it one way on the outside, if it bends over to the north, it flexes to the west, to the south, inside the tower, and that rocks the connection to the rotor back and forth. and obviously in all directions. So that's what works the bolts loose on the bottom, and that's also what can damage the upper thrust bearing.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. I'll look and see. I'm pretty sure there's only the one thrust bearing. It's up at like 130 feet, and I don't climb that anymore. I don't climb anymore, and 130 feet away, I just have to ask the details.
Yeah, no, I understand, but that's typical when guys make the mistake of putting the rotor way down in the tower like that. It's a big mistake. It's not a mistake if you want, well, it's a waste of mass, that's all. There's no reason to do that. It doesn't buy you a damn thing. In fact, it usually buys more problems than it solves. You're better off to have, well, between 5 and 3 feet, 3 to 5 feet sticking down in the tower with a second thrust bearing just above the rotator, and then that problem goes away. All right, let you go, Tom, and we'll see you tomorrow night, one band or the other, or all of them for that matter. KW6S, K6MYC.
Yeah, very good. Catch you tomorrow night. Probably on both bands, K6MYC, KW6S.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to go into the Bay Area.
KB6BA.
KB6BA. I don't have to move for you, Oliver. You're loud.
Yeah. Been having a lot of fun with the auroras, not so much on the radio side, but going up to see if I can see it visually. And I did see it for the first time Friday night in the Bay Area on a reasonably dark sky site, so that was fun. K6MYC, KB6BA.
Yeah, did you hear my comment about the Friday night field aligned irregularity opening?
No, I missed that. I tuned in a bit late. That sounds like fun.
You know what FAI is?
No, I don't.
Okay, you might want to look it up. I think Google has a scientific explanation of FAI. It stands for Field Aligned Irregularities. We discovered it many years ago. It's been used by the old-time hams. In fact, I was thinking back, everybody that I used to work on 2 meters from Arizona, New Mexico, and Colorado, and all over the place on 2 meters with the FAI, they're all dead. So apparently the heritage didn't get, the information didn't get passed on, because I haven't talked to anybody that knows what FAI is. Anyway, look it up, but it's a blob of something. You could call it a big blob of weird ionosphere or something, a stressed area of magnetic field that reflects signals back out of it. So you beam toward, and from here I beam toward 60 degrees. You would beam about the same, maybe 55, maybe 65 degrees, somewhere just above Colorado a little bit. And the signals go in there and then bounce back out. I worked Gordon, WB6NOA, and Palos Verdes last night on 2 meters, all pointed towards 60 degrees, over.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. Sounds like a more rare and exotic version of sporadic heat clouds. Well, look that up. I've never heard of it before.
Yeah, well, maybe somebody looking it up will remember it, but it's possible to have it when you have the aurora like you saw on Friday night. That was the night that it was also occurring. It sounds like aurora, but it's different in terms of where it presents itself, and it does not have any visual. It doesn't make a visual effect like aurora does, over.
Okay, I understand. All right, well, I'll look forward to the next opportunity. And thanks for the heads up on that.
Well, watch those high A indexes. A was up in the 260, 270, 280 region for a little bit. That's the kind of stuff that creates it. I don't know what the A was on Friday when it occurred and when you saw the aurora, but it had to be very, very high. And that's kind of a clue. I was looking at the spectrum. I look at from 50.050 all the way up to 50.350. Actually wider than that, but I like to watch 313 for spikes and signals. And I also saw a sideband signal on 130 on Friday night, and it turned out it was Richard up there in Washoe Valley, Nevada. And he was calling CQ like a madman because he knew what it was, I guess. And he had found that if he pointed toward that blob, he was pointed at about 55 degrees, and it was you could hear other people through it. I worked him right off the bat because I saw his spike on 50.130 sideband. Sideband sounds horrible. It's readable, but it sounds horrible because you got multi-Doppler. And CW just sounds like a whisper. It sounds like that's all you hear if you go to CW. It's really strange. You can read CW through it, but there's no tone. Anyway, keep an eye on it. 73 Oliver, KB6BA, K6MYC, Bay Area, Bozo Net, over.
W6PQL.
W6PQL, let me go a little further for you.
Okay. Yeah, you came up about S9 there for a while. I guess, we got a little bounce off the mountains toward the south where Oliver is, I guess. But went back down again, so probably be helpful if you pointed up this way just a little bit. Well, 6 meters has been open. Yesterday I worked ZL1RS on 6, and also today I worked VK9DX out there on Norfolk Island. The openings on both of those were pretty brief. They both occurred about 6 o'clock our time on different days. And on the first day, there were a couple of ZLs that were in there, including ZL1RS. And today, I only heard VK9DX, but managed to work both of them. K6MYC, oh, wait, I forgot to mention on the FAI, a lot of UFOs have been sighted over Colorado, too. K6MYC, W6PQL.
Yeah, well, there's all kinds of theories there. I don't know if it has any relationship, but maybe they're referencing that very, very stressed out magnetic field area over that area. Anyway, fine on the Norfolk Island. That's outstanding. That's a tough one. So you got a good one there, boy. That's a tough contact or a tough one to work because there's only a few people there. Luckily, they're fairly active. But I worked it many, many years ago, but boy, it's a rare one.
Yeah, I haven't checked to find out if he confirmed on LOCW or not, but I imagine he will. It's what he says he does on his website.
Yeah, I'm sure you're going to get a confirmation on that. Anyway, it won't be the last time he comes in based on the way the sun's acting here, so there you go. Anyway, good evening to you. We'll take a standby and see if there's anybody else in here. And I did bump the antenna up your way. You're quite solid. Not roaring loud, but very stable, over.
Oh, that's good. That's good. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by. See you later.
Yeah. Well, don't run away. Maybe you can hear somebody I can't hear here. Bay Area, Bozo Net, 2 meters, K6MYC. Who else is in there, over?
N5NPD.
N5NPD. K6MYC. Good evening, Brett. 1129.
That's affirmative. Good evening. Got that new antenna up, pointed your direction, and now I can spin it around and listen to everyone else as well. So, seems to be working really good. Over.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, you're loud here. N5NPD. I think Newman must be east. Must be east of, where are you? East of Modesto? So you're so close to where I'm beaming into the Bay Area. That's why I'm getting you so loud here. I don't understand why I hear you so well before I point up the valley here. But who knows? We won't complain, over.
Yeah, I'm southwest of Modesto. I'm over here, so between you and I is, Los Banos is just a little bit to the south of that direction, over.
Yeah, well, that explains it, because if I beam toward Los Banos, it goes right over the top into the Bay Area, so that's why I'm getting you so well. Very good, Brett. And fine on the new antenna and rotating and all that, so you can keep an eye on where I'm pointing. You'll hear me go to different areas, and you should point toward those areas as well, and then you can see what you can hear. And, of course, we are live streaming, so you can also hear how well you're hearing compared to what I'm hearing, over.
Very good. That's what I plan to do. As soon as we wrap it up here, I'll spin it over towards the bay and listen in.
Sounds good. Okay, and tomorrow night, of course, 2 meters, 222 and 6 meters. Those are the two bands we'll be on. I think we worked you on 6 meters. I think you've got something up for 6. Tuesday, of course, is 1296. I don't think you have anything there yet. And then Wednesday is back on 2 meters, and Thursday is 432, and I think we worked you there the other day. So we're going to be picking you up quite regularly here, Brett.
Just the 2 meters and 70 centimeters. That's all I have up at the moment.
Yep, I understand. You don't have, what radio do you have?
This is the Yaesu 991A.
Oh, okay. Well, you do have 6 meters in there. You just have to put up an antenna.
Yep, just the antenna, that's all.
Well, it could be something very simple. You could make a wire quad loop, make it about 8% longer than a full wave, 8% longer than a full wave. Do you have the formula for a free space wavelength?
I'm sure I can find it.
Well, I'll give it to you if you want to write it down. This is when you can commit to memory. And this is good for VHF because it's in inches. The magic number is 11803. 11803 divided by whatever frequency in megahertz, like 144.2. It'll give you like 80 inches or something. That is a full wavelength in free space. And then if you were going to do it on 6 meters, it would be 50 divided into 11803, and then make it about 6 to 8% longer than that because you get some cancellation in the quad, the corners where the corners are of the quad. Just could be a piece of number 12 gauge wire. The feed impedance of the quad loop is about 100 ohms. And you can deal with that 2-to-1 mismatch for a while, or if you want to match it, a quarter wave transformer of 75 ohm coax will convert it from 100 ohms down to 50 easily. And I can help you more with that if you haven't done that before. Over.
Well, thank you, sir. I wrote that down, 11803 divided by the frequency in megahertz and 6 to 8% longer. Got it.
And it's good. It's a free space in inches. It's always in inches. And if you need feet, which you probably don't unless you're going to convert that, the same formula works from DC to daylight. So, but if you're converting it to HF, you usually have to convert it to feet. Makes more sense because otherwise you're like 11,600 feet. Inches, I mean. So it works very well for 240 inches, more or less, for 6 meters, and even that's a long one. But from above 6 meters, it's very convenient. And then quarter wave, of course, is just 1/4 of that, and then you multiply that quarter wave free space times the velocity factor of the coax that you're making as a transformer, and that's how you make a quarter wave transformer. I can go through this with you again when you've got a little more time if you want. Think about it a little bit. But it's easy to make a nice simple quad loop with a couple of pieces of bamboo or something to hold the corners out, and you can just wind up a little coax at the feed point at the bottom, and you're off and running. Over. I usually use the quarter wave of 75 ohm RG6 or something like that for the ballon, and just wind up that quarter wave, which is going to be about 37, 38 inches long, something like that. Coil it up, and that forms a ballon and the transformer all in one. Over.
Well, very good. Thank you for that. I'll look into that and give me another project to put under my belt. Over.
Well, it's a learning project, but you'll learn a lot of things, and you'll get a chance to manipulate numbers. But 11803 is a magic number if you're dealing with, as a professional and in the business, we use that number all the time to calculate quarter waves and half waves and anything else. Multiple half waves of coax sometimes is important to cut your coax in multiple half waves, blah, blah, blah. So that and the velocity factor of the coax, and I can tell you what various cables are, but you can also look that up on the web very quickly. RG LMR 400, for instance, has a velocity factor of 0.8586. RG8 is 0.66, etc., etc. But that's stuff you can get into as time goes on. 7-3 for now, Brett, and don't hesitate to bend my ear and ask questions when you get a little further along with that. Over.
Very good. 73s to K6MYC in 5NPD.
Okay, well, that's what I'm here for. I'm trying to pass on some of the stuff that I'm carrying around in my brain. See you later. Okay, Bay Area, K6MYC Bozo Net. Anybody else?
WB6JNN.
Hi, Jim. WB6JNN, East San Jose. How are you?
Oh, falling asleep over here, but you passed it over, so I woke up.
Well, I'm sorry I'm talking about stuff that's boring to you. You've heard that story 100 times, haven't you?
Yeah, but that's okay. I really can't compete with the guys that are local to you. That's for sure.
Oh, well, he's not local to me. He's in Newman. He's as far away as you are. Newman and Modesto are pretty close together. He's he's north of Los Banos a little bit, maybe a little closer, but right in the same heading. But he's pointed away from you, of course. He's pointed toward me. That's maybe why you can't hear him. He's running 50 watts from a 991 on this frequency, over.
I'm familiar with that one. Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, well, he doesn't have this about 3,900-foot mountain in between his feet.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, he's got a much better path. But he's not a highway patrolman. He was in law enforcement somewhere, and his law enforcement numbers was N5 NPB or something close to that, NPD. So he just converted his law enforcement numbers that he was known by over to the call sign. So it makes it easy for him. He's not a 5. He's not a transplant. He's been in California all his life, I guess, from what I can gather. Anyway, that's the story. Anyway, beautiful day here. I guess, is it cooling down for you? We were 90 here today, over.
Well, it got quite hot 2 days ago, and then yesterday was a little cooler, and today I think it was in the 70s somewhere. I didn't look at it after early morning, so it probably got up in the upper 70s, I would think. But, yeah, it's been reasonable. Can't complain. Although the cats were mostly indoors, although one of them was out most of the day.
Yeah, okay. Well, we expect it'll cool slightly here, but I think we're on our more warming trend. We're now going to be 5 to 10 degrees warmer than you are for the most part all the time now. It was sure nice to be at 90. I worked outside and worked hard today, but I wasn't struggling with the heat, so I must be... I guess I've lived in Fresno long enough to not be worried about 90 degrees. I was quite comfortable, over.
Yeah, well, that's what you're used to over there for sure. Well, this afternoon, of course, we went out to Mother's Day dinner, so that took a good portion of the afternoon. So no airplanes today. Wife and child, one child, the other one in San Diego. So we had a nice dinner. We went over to Denny's. I used to say it's cheaper, but these days it ain't so cheap anymore.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, nothing's cheap anymore, but I'm hoping you had a good dinner, regardless of the cost. It's 1 or 2 times a year it's worth doing it, and even if it costs a little bit more, it's worth the effort. I'm sure your wife appreciated that effort, Jim. All right, let you go. We'll catch you tomorrow night on 222 and perhaps 6 meters as well. WB6JNN, K6MYC, clear, QRZ, the Bay Area.
711.
Hi, 711. And how's John tonight?
So good. It was an interesting 6-meter opening yesterday. I worked at L3D2 and the VK9, which I had worked in 2001 but never got a card.
Oh, yeah. Jim BQL said he also worked at VK9 Delta X-ray in Norfolk, so that's a real good one. And he's hoping that the guy did log it on LOTWA, whatever the hell that is, Logbook of the World, LOBA, or LOTWA, whatever it is. Anyway, he should get a card, and if he logs you properly, you'll get your card this time, and that's good. I worked it a long time ago. I was very lucky. It was a different call sign when I worked it. I think it was the guy that lived there for a long time. He was a resident, and he was quite avid about getting on 6 when there was an opening, so that helped. He didn't miss many of those. Anyway, congratulations on that one, John, and I'm glad you were able to catch him. K6 Mexico, Italy in the group, K6 MYC.
Right, yeah. I worked in 2001, but never got that confirmed. It was a German ham that was visiting there, and I sent SASEs and sent money, never got a card. So hopefully this will work out. K6MI, thanks.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think he was logging on Logbook of the World, so you might look there and see if you're in the contact list.
Yeah, I've already put it up, and I'll see if it's downloaded yet.
Okay, sounds good, John. Thanks much. We'll see you tomorrow night, hopefully. K6MI. Kilowatt 6 Mike Yankee Charlie. Still looking for stations in the Bay Area. We're really shy of people in the Bay Area, guys.
Kilo Echo 6 Quebec Romeo.
KE6QR. Good evening, Gary. Let me get up your way just a tad more here. Go ahead.
Yeah, you sounded good, Mike. A lot better. I guess you're hearing me better. I had a high noise level last time we tried this, but you're coming in pretty good tonight. I've been listening on the 6 meters and 2 meters here in Aurora, but I heard K2GMY, my neighbor up the hill here, working a lot of stations, but it was mostly just listening to me. I've got all my parts for my satellite antenna. I'm putting it all together, and hopefully in another week or so I will have it completed there. So anyway, have a good net, and sub 3, K6NYC, K6QR.
K6QR, solid copy that time, Gary, very good. Did you say your neighbor, K6 Queen X-Ray Yankee, is that who you said?
No, K2GMY, he's a few miles away. He's in Venetia, but he's probably about 2 airline miles away from me, but he's up on a pretty high hill, so he hears all kinds of stuff that I don't hear.
Yeah, no, he's got a good location. He's also got a good contest station there, so obviously from his location. I'm trying to remember, is his name Don?
No, it's Dick.
Dick.
India Charlie Kilo, Dick, K2GMY, originally from New Jersey.
Yeah, that's right. It's Dick. I knew it had something in the D's. I got the D up, but I got the rest of it wrong. Okay. Very good. Well, we'll probably hear him in the June contest, as we always do. Thanks for that, Gary. And maybe soon we'll hear you on 432 on Thursday night there. Take care. KE6QR, K6MYC, Bozo Net. Anybody else?
I heard N1PPP check in there. Okay, thanks, Mike. KE6QR, please.
I don't hear N1PPP. N1 Papa. Go ahead. N1PPP. I'll log him in. I guess you heard him, but I haven't heard him yet.
Yeah, N1PPP. Try it again. Mike's calling you. He went away. He was there, but he went away. Get those conditions. K6QR. Okay, he's in there now. He said he's only on 50 watts tonight.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe he can hear my 1500. Find out from him if he's also got Kent there as a check-in. Kent is KA6OSX, number 160, over.
Do you have Kent KA6OSX 160 there to check in or not, Dave?
Yes, 160 as well.
160 as well. Yeah, so both of them need to be checked in.
I heard your 50 watts that time, Dave. You came up out of the noise. Thank you very much, Dave. Good to hear you. Sorry you just have 50 watts tonight. Hi. N1PPP with KA6OSX and help from KAE6QR. Thank you, Gary, K6MYC.
You're welcome, K6QR.
I'm looking for N6RO, N6 Radio Oscar.
Okay, 6MYC, N6RO, 835. A high of 89 today, which is over my limit for going outside. Anyway, made some progress since I last reported. We're going to pour concrete on Wednesday for the 2 pours, one for the I-beam support for the guy wires on the 40-meter tower, and also the base template for the new V8 UHF tower that I hope to have the whole stack that I have now, and plus a 2-meter beam that I can point at you and use my tall one to point around and see who I can hear during the nets. Anyway, that's about it for, I found my 6-meter problem. It was a bad port on an old B&W manual switch. And I didn't, up till I found that, I tried everything. I bypassed both switches in the Heliax run, and I finally, the last thing I did was what cured it, but I cured it. And 6RO.
It's always the last thing, isn't it, Ken?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. That's because Murphy's hiding the answer from you.
At first I thought it was one of the right angle connectors on UHF, but it was not.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm glad you found it. That's the main thing, even though you had to spend a little time at it. Good on the towers and the bases, getting ready to go with that. That'll be exciting. And we'll hear you more consistently, I'm sure, on those check-in nights. Very good, Ken. It was 89 here also, but I just tell everybody it was 90. Who's going to argue with me, Ken?
Yeah, close enough. It's supposed to be a little cooler tomorrow, and then back up to about 90 on concrete pouring day. But we can take it since I'm not doing any of the work. I just sit there and watch.
Okay. I worked through it today. I was very comfortable at 90. I kept thinking I was really working. At one point, I was with my back to the sun. I was pulling weeds in my flower garden at the beginning, at the entrance to my driveway. I have geraniums of different colors on one side, and they always get clogged up with weeds. And we watered them yesterday and got the ground softened up a little bit, and I pulled some more weeds there today. But I worked with my back to the sun for 20 minutes, bent over, and I thought, boy, this is going to be exhausting. But no, I was just comfortable. I never did get tired or hot, either one. But and I was in the bright sun at just a bit after 4 o'clock, so probably as hot as it was going to get. So I guess I'm ready for the summer. Thank God. Now at 110, I'm going to not be there.
Oh, for certain. Well, you're in really good shape compared to me. I just couch potato. And although it was, almost 90 today, in the house it never got above 84. And so I never turned on the new air conditioning. I just fired up one of my little mini swamp coolers and pointed it out in my face, and it's kept me cool all day. In fact, I brought it out to the shack.
No, that's the way to do it. That's sufficient. I'm going to have to turn our swamp coolers on here and make sure they all work. We've tried to get somebody out to do it, but nobody answers my phone calls. And it's just hard to get people out to do work on these things for seasonal updates and maintenance and stuff.
Yeah, I used to maintain my own. I had swamp coolers before I put the conventional air conditioner in the shack. And I had one in feeding the house as well. In addition to the forced air conditioning, which was a heat pump at first, and then just a conventional air conditioner. Anyway, enough of that stuff. We'll attempt to be on 6 tomorrow night. I haven't checked the settings on the radio, but I think the antenna is okay. And 6RO.
How about 222?
Oh, yeah, that usually works. That's on another station, the K3 with a transfer.
Yeah, okay. I didn't want you to forget 222. We've been a little bit light on check-ins there. I've been running in the 13 to 18 window. I'd like to see at least 20 or more, but we've had quite a few people on 220 die. I don't know what the deal is on that band. Okay, take care, Kev. Thanks. See you later. And I'm still pointing toward Oakley and that area. Is there anybody that's copying me anywhere? How about Daly City, KB6BA? No, not KB6. KB6 Whiskey, Foxtrot, Charlie. How about you, Mike? Nothing heard from Daly City. Anybody else before I go to Sacramento? K6MYC. Nothing heard there. Okay, Sacramento.
756, Kilo Juliet, 6 Kilo Foxtrot Bravo.
Okay, I hear 756. I hear you, Darren. I'm not even pointed your way yet, but we'll get you. Kilo Foxtrot Bravo. Okay, gotcha. Let me come up your way, Darren. Go ahead and give me a little chatter.
Oh, sure. You're almost up to normal operating, how should I say, signal strength as it is now. But I'll let you get dialed right in, and maybe this band is going to be the only band that works worth a hoot over this last weekend.
Well, this is working good. You're loud. As I say, this is working good. You're loud. Over.
Oh, there we go. I guess you might have doubled with me on the end. At any rate, yeah, I'm just busy with the how should I say, Happy Mother's Day events, and other than that, didn't do a whole lot of radio with all the, what can I say, noise from the sun, yes.
Yeah, well, the sun's been acting up. Friday was a good one. Did work what we call FAI, Field Aligned Irregularities. It's like Aurora, but it sounds like and smells like Aurora, but it doesn't give you any visual. But it's a spot over Colorado, north of Colorado a little bit. Everybody points toward that spot. Signals go in there and then bounce out. So you can work anywhere between Washington State and all the way down to New Mexico on 2 meters on FAI. We couldn't get anybody on outside of Nevada, but we had big signals from Nevada. And I worked Gordon, WB6NOA, down there in Palos Verdes off the back of the beam, beaming into it. So the propagation was good, just nobody was on because nobody's aware of what FAI is, or?
I gotcha. Yeah, I didn't dial it up either. I was, like I said, busy with other activities, and knowing that the bands were not all that great, did not spend a lot of time on the air. But at any rate, I'll kick it back to you, and I'm sure there are others waiting in the wings to check in. KJ6, KFB, good to hear you.
Yeah, good signal there, and I wish it was like this on all the bands. It was really marginal the other night on 432. That was just a terrible night on 432. Maybe that was the end of it, and we're getting into a better time now. Thank you. And let's see if Bill is in here. KO6KD, Bill?
Yes, sir, KO.
WB6JNP.
I hear you, Dane. Stand by. Okay, let me get Dane in here. WB6JNP, course goals. Go ahead, Dane.
Okay, nothing exciting to announce from Course Gold. It's, good old Course Gold. Anyway, everything's fine, and I will catch you tomorrow on 6.
Yeah, I'll be on 6. And hopefully we'll get some more fireworks on 6. You probably heard my comments about field aligned irregularities. Were you aware of that phenomenon?
No, I missed out on that.
Yeah, you might look it up. It's out here when everybody hears it. It's on 6. I caught it on 6 originally, and Richard, KD6BQ up there in the Washoe Valley, Nevada, one of the Bozo members, 249, was madly calling CQ on 6 because he heard it. I don't know if he knew what he was doing, but he pointed toward it, It's a blob of something or other, ionosphere or something that occurs over Nevada that's highly stressed. Gives all the same characteristics audio-wise or radio-wise as aurora. So the signals are all distorted and many shifts of Doppler and stuff. And CW sounds like a whisper. But it plays good. And I've worked New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, of course, Washington, Oregon, Utah, all those states on 2 meters through the FAI phenomena. So you might look it up. Google has a little scientific blurb on it. You might look it up and get familiar with it. But the only thing I don't know is what causes that field-aligned irregularity burble, that spot that everybody beams at over Colorado, Dane, over.
Okay, is it predominantly Colorado, or do they experience it over other locations?
Well, I don't know. The only place that we've ever experienced it, and the problem that I have is all the guys I used to work, N5JHV and W5FF, and all those guys that I worked on many years ago, they all died. They're all dead, so I don't know. That's why nobody caught it, nobody knew about it, and the legacy of FAA was not passed on. It took me a few minutes to remember. I knew the phenomena. As soon as I heard Richard, I knew what was going on, but I couldn't remember what it was called. And after about 10 minutes, the FAI name popped into my head. Oh, yeah, we're working FAI. And so we used to have lots of QSOs, and we'd hear it on 6 first. 6 would get all ratty sounding and all multipathy and horrible, like Aurora. And then we'd go over to 2 meters and point toward Colorado thing. And I don't know, maybe the Google will tell you what the hell's going on above Colorado there, over.
Okay, well, you know Colorado, they're kind of radical anyway.
Yes, they are. You got a lot of stress, and maybe that's what causes it.
Yeah, it's the type of thing, Mike, that back when we used to work stuff like that, and it was like always the interest of what causes it. And nowadays, I'm afraid people are just, they've gotten away from actually wanting to know why and just make the contact.
Yeah, well, I was aware of it, and I knew it, and I used it. We kind of understood the phenomena, but it never dawned on me what the hell was it. And maybe I knew at one point somebody might have said, oh, that's a such and such, a big magnetic disturbance that's always been there above Colorado or something. I don't know. That's the only part of it that I don't understand. I know how it works and I know how to use it, but I can't remember what caused it. I know what causes it. It's the sun, of course. When you get A indexes in the high 200s, you're going to have something like that, over.
Okay. What was it called again? Let me write it down.
Field-aligned irregularities. Field-aligned irregularities, FAI.
Okay.
I hear you.
Irregularities. I will do some searching on that.
Yeah, maybe Ken knows. Ken's on frequency. What causes that blob over Colorado on FAI, Ken?
Well, I've heard several people talking about it and whatnot, but it's a fixture almost because it's there. It's not real predictable, but somewhat. By the way, I worked a bunch of Aurora on Friday night. After the club meeting, we went out to dinner, and then when we got home, sure enough, you could see the pink glow out there. So I ran in the ham shack here, and I worked a bunch of guys in Oregon and Washington on CW Aurora. Boy, that was a challenge.
Yeah, well, the same thing on FAI. We couldn't get anybody to come up on the phone. Richard was there, and I worked Gordon, WB6NOA, on 2 meters from Palos Verdes off the back of his beam. Of course, I'm back of mine, but we were all pointed toward this blob in Colorado. And so I had a good contact with Gordon. Most other people couldn't hear as good as I could. I was hearing a lot better than everybody else, but it was really quite strong, over.
Right, yeah, I've worked it too. You point out there, and it's like a permanent backscatter fixture, actually.
Yeah, sort of like that. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Anyway, we got Bill in here, so let's see. Bill, are you hearing Ken okay? I'm sure you are. At KO6KD, K6MYC, and we missed you this morning. We stood by several times. Was it no good for you?
I could not hear you at all. Did not hear Bob, couldn't hear. I did hear Rolf was better, actually, was stronger than Billy was. But all in all, I came in a little late, and by the time I got the sleep out of my eyes and started making sense to myself, you guys were signing off. So I said, well, and that's the way it goes.
Yeah, well, we stood by for you, but I couldn't hear you. I didn't think I could hear you. I could copy Bob, but I had to switch to the 2-element beam right at him. I could hear him a little bit on backscatter, but it was much better when I went down the direct path off the back of his beam. So I had good copy on Bob, but it was weak. But for that reason, and Bob had some deal he was going to for the Mother's Day celebration or something up in Kent, Washington, so he had about a 4-hour drive in front of him. So he wanted to get going on that. And the guys weren't there at all. They said there was no propagation at all on Saturday. I doubt that. I think we had propagation, but we must have missed the timing. I had a little trouble with my radio. It was trouble that I had between the ears here. I couldn't figure out why I kept tripping the amp out, and that was because I didn't have the antenna switch in the right place. I was thinking 40 meters antenna, but 20 meters is where I was transmitting, and it doesn't work that way, Bill.
Oh, no. Not with the amps. No, you definitely don't want to do that. So, all right, well, that's the way it was. I did hear the guys. I did not hear them yesterday, though. And I kept dozing off in front of the radio. I just don't get any sleep before it's time to get up for the radio. I'm just such a waste when I can't do anything, in the morning. So, at any rate, but I do try to show up and say something if I can hear anybody. But anyway, apologies all the way around. And I'll get out of here, Ken, if that's you out there. 7-3 to you, and to Gwen, I hope she had a nice Mother's Day, and everyone else out there. So I'll say 7-3 one and all, and I'll get out of the way. Hopefully I'll have the 220 plugged in for tomorrow night, Mike, KO6KD.
Yeah, good. We'll see you on 40 in the morning. Go ahead, Ken.
I think we doubled. KO6KD, WA60IB. You copying it all, Bill?
Oh, yeah. Gosh, you're 10 over S9.
Okay, yeah, real good. Gwen says hi, and we had a nice Mother's Day. We went over to our daughters. Both our sons were, well, one of them lives in L.A., but the other one went down to L.A. with his new baby to visit. So, and his wife's first Mother's Day, she wanted to spend it with her sister down there. So, so we went up to our daughters and grandkids and had a nice visit up there. So, anyway, good Mother's Day, good time. So, thank you for the well wishes and all that. But good to hear you. WA60IB.
Well, thank you for the good report. I'm so glad you guys had a nice time, and you got a good family there. That's great. All right, very 7-3 to both you and Gwen. Have a great evening, and we'll look for you the next time around. Okay, back to net, KO6KD.
Okay, very good. Let's see, who else do we have here? I'm going to try for Redding in a second, but John, are you here, KR6MR?
Roger, Mike. And Ken, hi Ken, KR6MR Bozo 759. I have another theory on FAI.
Okay, go ahead on FAI.
Okay, there is a conspiracy theory show on History Channel. I think it's called The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. And they probably have a wormhole above the ranch. This is in Upper Utah, and that's what's causing all these problems. Hi. Back to you.
Yeah, I didn't get it. You had very serious multipath. I didn't quite follow it, but I think it was a joke, right?
Yes, it's pure sarcasm. There is a TV program on the History Channel called The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. And they just go on and on with a bunch of crap about a possible wormhole in unknown transmissions at 1.6 gigahertz. It just goes, correction, there are no transmissions in this program at all. Everything is broadcast. I broadcast a signal. I anyway, it's a hoot if you want to watch it, KR6MR.
Okay, boy. Mother Nature's giving you the flutters. Are you hearing him, Ken?
Yeah, I don't hear. He's not fluttering to me at all there. And hi, John. Good to hear you. But yeah, I've heard that story before. It's pretty funny.
You hearing Ken tonight, John?
Oh yeah, well, I almost hear Ken better than you. Yeah, so Ken does understand my tongue-in-cheek about the Skinwalker Ranch comment. Over.
Roger, roger.
Yeah, I had my tongue in my cheek when I was listening to you, so it worked out real well, John. Good to hear you. WA60IB.
Okay, Ken. Catch you later. KR6MR. Mike, back to net. It is running late.
Yeah, who was the other one that was in that checked in at the same time John was? I didn't catch the call sign. Over.
AJ6QS.
AJ6 Queen Lima. Good evening, George. Let's see. 1031?
Yeah, that's correct. Over.
I'm getting better, see?
Yeah, wonderful. And I heard you on 40 meters. Tried to call you quickly, but you had your beam towards South Africa, so it didn't work. Over.
You mean 20 meters?
No, you were on 40 meters.
20 meters, not 40, right?
No, I think you were on 20 meters on talking with South Africa, and when the conditions were really bad, but you got one contact there. Over.
Are we talking about, I can't tell whether you're saying 40 or 20. I was on both bands. That's why I'm trying to determine what band you heard me on. 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 40 meters or 20?
40 meters.
Okay, well, that was last night. We made two contacts, ZS1 Charlie Queen and ZS6 Alpha Fox. Johan, over.
Yeah, right. And they were kind of weak, but yeah, I tried to call you there, but you couldn't hear me. Over.
I could probably have heard you, George, but there were so many callers I had to ignore. A lot of people. I had to ignore a lot of people. Otherwise, I was just going to be deluged, and I was trying to get at least when I do have Africans in there, because they only have a short time window, I always try to optimize and give them the break and get the signals through on to Africa. So I probably heard you in there. There was 4 or 5 callers, but I kind of specifically went for South Africa. My apologies. Normally I don't get 5 or 6 callers at the same time, George.
Yeah, and I figured as much, so I just dropped my call center once and then kept quiet because you were calling basically everyone, but then I figured, well, if South Africa comes through, that's more important. Over.
Well, it's not more important. It's just that they have a short time window, and they like to give me a report, and they like to know that they can be heard clear out here on the West Coast. That's a very unique path for them. So I give them the option. I give them the courtesy of taking me ahead of everybody else, so that's all. Anyway, yeah, there was a lot of other people in there too, and some I couldn't hear very well. Anyway, do it again. Don't give up, and next time call a couple of more times. It won't matter. At the beginning of a transmission, you're not going to bother anybody. If I've already got the call set, you can make your call come in there, and it's not going to bother anybody. So don't hesitate to keep calling till I acknowledge you. Over.
Okay, I will do that, Mike. I will do that, but I'll let you go because it's late and you still have to do Redding and Nevada. So have a good evening, Mike, and talk to you later. AJ6 clear.
Okay, well, thanks, George. Appreciate it. AJ6 Queen Lima, K6MYC, and let me see here. Let me get you written in here. I did write it in already. Okay. Let me go to Redding, KD6 Sugar Whiskey or KO6HS. How about it, Rich?
Yeah, top of the evening to you. KD6 Shortwave in Redding, number 145.
Yeah, got 145. Conditions seem to be on the improve. You're quite good copy here. Not bodacious signal, but very good copy. You take it, and if you want to turn it down and see if Jerry's there, be my guest. KD6 Sugar Whiskey, it was about 90 degrees here today. How about you, K6MYC?
Well, all I can say is it was hot here, too. I don't know what the temperature was. It really doesn't matter. You're outside, you're working, and you're sweating. You're not doing lots of yard work. By the way, you were up to S9 for a while, and then you dropped back down again. Jerry, go ahead, take it away.
Roger, Jerry, we got you. Readability 3. You and Rich dropped down to readability 3 at the end there. But we got you all okay, so you're all checked in, and hopefully it'll come back. Long, slow fades tonight, so it's long time down, long time up maybe. So maybe it'll start to come back before we finish here. Anyway, it was very warm today. We're going to have another fairly warm day tomorrow. It was 86 or 87 yesterday, almost 90, 89 to 90 here today, and then it's supposed to be cooling slightly, and then back up to pushing 90 again. So it looks like we're at the beginning of our warm summer here. KO6HS, try it now, K6MYC. Any better? Right down in the noise, Rich. KO6HS, didn't get much copy that time. It really went down. KD6SW, how about it, Rich, before we let you go? 73 K6MYC, over. I've lost you. How you doing, Ken? You hearing anything up there?
Just a little tiny bit. I'm sorry. It's just not there.
Yeah, same here. They both dropped right down into the noise there. So we'll let him go. We'll look for Rich tomorrow on 6 meters. He sometimes shows up on 6. We'll look for you on 6, Rich. We'll look for you on 6 meters tomorrow. KD6 Sugar Whiskey, K6MYC. Now, is there anybody else before we go to Nevada? Over.
Kilo 6 Alpha Victor Bravo.
I think somebody wants to go 5 up. I think I heard the words 5 up. Over.
Kilo 6 Alpha Victor Bravo.
Oh, Kilowatt 6 Alpha Victor Bravo. Okay. K6AVB. Well, I haven't heard that call for a while. Can you give me a Bozo number? Over.
Yeah, Bozo number 1110. QSL?
QSL, now you're coming up. K6AVB 1110. K6MYC. Name is Mike here. And you might want to refresh my memory on your name and where you are there. But K6AVB, go ahead.
Yeah, name here is Jacob. I'm in Auburn, California, and the band is definitely up and down tonight, but I hiked my beam up to 30 feet, and it looks like it's working. QSL?
Yes, it is. It's working better, Jacob. I don't think I've heard you this good before. So you're holding in there pretty good. I've got pretty good copy on you there from Auburn. Wonderful to hear you. Ken, you want to say hello to Jacob?
Yeah, he's got a lot of lows. I'm having a hard time copying him. There's no highs for some reason. Maybe I've got some phase distortion. But K6AVB, this is WA6 Oscar India Bravo, Ken in Clovis, California, just a little south of Mike there. WA6OIV.
Okay, hello Ken. I got a copy on you. I couldn't write your call sign to memory right away, but nice to meet you and nice to make your acquaintance.
Yeah, Yeah, he said he's got you all okay. Ken, nice to meet you, but I guess the path is dropping. You're going down a little bit again there, Jacob, but thank you very much, and the beam's working. How much power are you running, Jacob, over?
Yeah, I'm 100 watts on the 9700.
Okay, 100 watts from the 9700. Yeah, I would think it should be stronger. I think you should be stronger from Aubrey, but maybe you've got some blockage at your location in this direction, over.
I thought you said Auburn.
Auburn is right.
It's up and down. Sometimes you're 5'9", and sometimes like right now you're like a 4x3, 3x3.
Roger, Richard. 249, we got you. Coming your way, Richard, just a minute. Okay, we'll let you go, Jacob. We got the Nevada boys calling in here. So let me pick up 249 in Nevada, fellas. KD6 Bravo Queen. KD6BQ. 73, Jacob. Thanks very much for being there. And hang in there, buddy. K6MYC.
73, K6ABB.
Okay, up to you, Richard. KD6BQ, K6MYC, over.
Yeah, K6MYC, KD6BQ. Yeah, you're a lot better when you're pointed this way. Good evening, Mike. Number 249, over.
Yeah, got your 249, and it was good to work you on FAI the other night. By the way, I was copying you fine for a better part of an hour on 2 meters. And copying you loud, your CW was pounding through at times when you would call CQ. So you got something wrong on your receive. Something went wrong maybe halfway through the evening because you were not hearing anybody that was calling you, over.
Yeah, that's correct. I don't know what happened, but it's like you just disappeared, and I never heard anybody else after that, over.
Yeah, well, you lost your receive. I don't know what happened, but you were plenty loud, and you called, and I tried to get you to come over to 6 meters so I could tell you. And I heard you on 6 meters, and you weren't hearing me very well on 6 or at all either. You did go over to 6 a couple of times, but I think the guys up there were so strong you could not hear me. But I had Q5 copy on you till I went to bed, over.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, well, the signals kind of went away for me, so I thought maybe I lost the hotspot or something like that. And then I later tried to point around a little bit, but that didn't seem to help either, over.
Yeah, no, you were right there. I went back and forth around 60 degrees, and it was 60 degrees for me, plus or minus a couple. But again, I called and called. I got very frustrated, and if I'd had your phone number, I would have called you, but I couldn't find your phone number. And anyway, I would have called you and told you that you were just wasting your time because you weren't hearing anybody. Other people were calling you also.
Now, that's really too bad. I don't know what happened. I haven't changed anything. Everything's like it was Friday night. So I don't know what happened. But yeah, I wasn't hearing anybody. I was trying to figure out why you all of a sudden went away. I was talking to Larry. He was still there, and a couple others locally. But everything, all the good signals from distance went away.
Yep. I don't know what it was, but it might have been some kind of one-way phenomena. But I was not having any trouble copying you. In fact, I worked Gordon sort of around the same time that I was hearing you, Gordon, WB6NOA down in Palos Verdes, and he was much weaker than you were, and he copied me fine. So I don't know.
Yeah, I heard you talking to Gordon. I couldn't hear him though. Over.
Yeah, well, again, I don't think you're hearing well for some reason. I don't know, but it might have been just a phenomena. Just a heads up, I would check that. I don't know, can you hear any of the beacons on 2 meters?
Not usually. I occasionally hear one down in Fresno, but not very often, over.
Well, there's no beacons in Fresno, but Frank has a beacon, but it's not on right now because it's so hot. He has to get an air conditioning unit in the housing. that he has the radios in because it's getting so hot in the housing that it's making the radios drift all over. So they're off the air temporarily. You got N6NB on 292. 292 N6NB in Tehachapi. You should hear that one from time to time.
Okay, well, I'll start listening for these beacons. I haven't really listened so much for beacons on 2 meters. Usually listen on 6, over.
Well, there's a K6ER beacon in Sausalito. That's the only one I can hear now. K6 Echo Romeo in Sausalito. It's on 079, 50.078, 079, over.
Yeah, I lost that last bit. I was writing with a pencil and hit the dial and shifted you off frequency. You want to try the last again, over?
Which you were doubling with somebody. Say it again, Richard. Say it again, Richard.
Okay, Mike Larry's here, but he said you're in the noise for him. He's not talking, over.
Yeah, I can hear him, and I heard him say that, but he doesn't hear me as well as I hear him, over.
Yeah, I think one of the problems is we both are having local noise issues up here. I got about a 10 dB increase in my noise floor from what I had, a month or so ago, and I'm not sure what's causing that, over.
Yeah, well, that may be why you weren't hearing what I was hearing on 2 meters. But I could hear you on 6, and I could hear you on 2, and in fact, I think I was running about 1,200 watts on 6. I for some reason thought the amplifier was not keying, but I believe it was. We checked it the next morning when Frank was here, and it seemed to be keying fine. So maybe I just didn't see the red light come on with my poor eyesight, over.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on here. Going to have to figure out ways to keep checking on the receiver to make sure that it's working right, but no obvious reason for it. Your signal's dropping down near the noise right now, but I'm hoping it will come back up here soon. K6MYC and whoever else can hear, 86PQ and Delta Mike 09.
Well, you should listen to yourself on the stream, and then you could compare what you're hearing from me to yourself as how I'm hearing you on the stream. And that will give you an idea whether you're hearing properly or not, Richard, over. See, you're very Q5 here on the stream.
You're not Q5 here.
Well, you're Q5 here, Larry. Yeah, I know. The band is slow fades, very slow fades up and down today. It's up for a long time and then it's down, but I'm not changing anything in the heading. It's just the band, Larry. It's just the band. Over. Is Daniel in here? KE7UQL, K6MYC. Daniel?
Hello there. This is 272. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, we got you. Go ahead and make a transmission, and I'll see if I can peek on you a little bit better, Daniel. Over.
Okay, I'll let it gather a little bit. Yes, you dropped down to my just rail S1, and that's about where the other guys kind of lose you. There's no noise at this location, and in fact, your audio is very strong and clear. It's just your signal strength drops down to S1, S0, over.
Okay, well, you're coming up now. You're getting quite strong now, Richard. Over. Daniel, I'm sorry. Daniel, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, now you're up to around S5, good copy. I have you fine, over.
Yeah, band is stumbling around up and down, up and down. It's been very stable until I got up in your direction. In your direction toward you and Larry and Richard, the band is not stable. It's going up and down a lot faster here. And much weaker. Everybody else was quite good except for Redding. Reading boys were very weak again tonight, but everybody else was strong and very steady. So who knows? Anyway, we'll look for you guys tomorrow on 6 and 222. We'll look for you on 222, Larry, and also on 6 meters, Richard. KD6BQ to take it with N7 Whiskey Tango and KE7UQL K6MYC. Go ahead, Richard.
Hey, okay, Mike, now you're S9 plus up here. Got a real strong signal, so easy copy right now. Yeah, we'll look for you tomorrow night on 6. Thanks for the pointers on the FAI. It was fun, and I just wish I was hearing as well as you were, figure out what happened. Anyway, 73 for now. We'll pass it back to you. K6MYC, KD6BQ, number 249 in Nevada.
Okay, solid copy. You had a little double, but you were so much louder than Larry. I didn't copy what Larry said, but okay. Yeah, the FAI was fun, and let's keep an eye out for it. The A index looks like it has to be up in the 250 to 300 region for that to occur, but watch for Aurora. Guys were working, Ken was in here, WA60IB, and he was working people on 2 meters, 6 meters on Aurora. You were doing it all on 6, right, Ken?
Yeah, you're back down right now, Mike.
No, it's still Q5 here. Richard, Larry, you were way up too, underneath with just about the same strength that Richard was for a moment. N7WT, K6MYC. I'll see you on 222 tomorrow. I heard Daniel in there trying to repeat for you, Larry. K7SUN, you're a week 2 stand. Boy, the conditions are not good up your way. Let me get over your way a little bit more. K7SUN, 442, I believe. 442, right?
Roger, roger. Bozo number 442, Mike. And, yeah, you have a pretty good signal here in Fallon tonight, so I thought I'd see if you could hear me, over.
Yeah, we're copying you fine. Let's see if Ken or anybody else is copying you there, Stan. How about it, Ken, WA60IB? I don't know where everybody went. Anybody else copying Stan in Nevada, K6MYC?
Yep, I'm doing it okay there. How you doing, Stan? K7SUN. This is Kilo Mike 6, Sierra Romeo Romeo. Over.
Roger. Well, you're booming in up here too, so very, very good signal. And yeah, you guys are sounding great tonight.
Hey, thanks for being there, Stan. We appreciate it.
Okay, well, you guys have a great evening. I'll get out of here and let Mike make his circle on around. So, K7SUN standing by.
Well, you're the last man on the totem pole here, Stan. There's no more unless we find one more down sometimes in Porterville. Anyway, 73 is great to hear you. Don't make a stranger of yourself there. Try to check in more often. 73, Stan, the summer conditions are going to be good. We all should hear you real easy here. Good night for now. N7 K7SUN, N7 Whiskey Tango, KE7UQL, KD6BQ, 73 all, K6MYC Bozo Net, over.
Hey, Mike, summer times when Stan goes on all his fishing trips there, so we don't hear him as much, over.
I know. Did.
Mike, I did hear you. I made a dozen contacts on Aurora, 6 meters. You were there at one time. You were in the backside of my beam, very, very strong there on 6 meters, but I didn't get a chance to say hello. But that was kind of amazing because you were warbling every bit as much as the guys up in Montana and stuff. So that was quite interesting, but I regret I didn't get a chance to say hello.
Well, it's because I was working FAI, not Aurora. if you had pointed at 55 or 60 degrees, that's where the propagation was for the FAI, the Field Aligned Irregularities. And that's why I was warbling. We worked all kinds of people around the state on FAI, but I didn't work anybody on Aurora. Over.
Roger. Well, my beams were pointed just about due north, which is exactly, the backside there. And, yeah, you were really, really strong. And then I didn't get a chance to say hello, but I just wanted to tell you I heard you there. Over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, if you'd have turned towards 60 degrees, it would have been easy. And you would have worked a lot more people at 60 degrees. Over.
Roger. Well, anyway, I had a good time, and that's the third time in my life I got to work some Aurora, so that was pretty fun.
Yeah, well, FAI is just as good, and you can do FAI on 2 meters. You can work all over the western states on 2 meters here on FAI. So when you start to hear that again, point over to that blob north of Colorado. Point about 60 degrees and peak on everybody's signal. Over.
Yeah, I will remember that, Mike. So anyway, I'll let you go. I don't want to hold it up here. So take care. 73 K7SUN.
Roger. 73 Stan. Great to hear you. K7SUN, K6MYC. Anybody else before we go back to Porterville? I guess it's Porterville time, Rob.
Okay. How about Larry's friend up there, Dale? Is he on 2 meter?
Well, he is, but he isn't in there, or I would have heard him. He pounded in here the other day on 6. He was as loudest of anybody.
Yeah, I remember that. KM6SR going down to Porterville.
Somebody talking in here. Might have been the Bay Area I passed through. Oh, Porterville, KE6BK, K6MYC, over. Let me go back to the Bay Area. You keep calling Eddie, over.
Roger. KE6BK. Eddie, you on tonight for the 2 meter Bozo Net? KE6BK, KM6SR. KE6BK, Eddie, you on tonight for 2 meter Bozo Net? KM6SRR, standing by.
I hear chatter in the Bay Area. Late checks are missed. K6MYC Bozo Net. I hear somebody in there.
That was Nevada.
It was SRR.
Who?
Nevada.
What's the call, Nevada?
Yeah, they were talking to you.
No, but I need the call sign. I probably just already worked them.
I'm not sure which one of the guys, but I recognize his voice up there.
Well, they weren't talking to me. I signed with them. Last check, late checks are missed. K6MYC Bozo Net.
It was UQL. He just signed his call.
Who was it?
Yeah, KE7 UQL.
Okay. Yeah, that's Daniel.
KE6BK, Eddie, on tonight for the 2-meter Bozo Net. KM6SR, standing by.
I was talking to Mike, telling him that he's off, he's got his beam over on the Bay Area now. Yeah, you got a good signal in here right now. I'm aimed down at Mike.
I can hear him.
Yeah, Mike hears you now. So go ahead there, Mike.
I'm pointed away. He won't hear me. And I can hear him in there. He's not quite Q5, but I'm pointed toward the Bay Area, as you said. So no problem. We got Daniel. Thank you. Tell him thank you in 73.
N7WT was as loud as you were, and I'm aimed at you. Boy, the band is doing some weird stuff right now.
Yep, up and down. Is anybody that hasn't checked into the Bozo Net, come on now. Otherwise, we're going to close the net and we'll just drag you. K6MYC, Central California, Bozo Net.
Kilo Tango 2 Golf.
Well, howdy. Oh, you pushed it to the limit, Mark.
Yes, I came in very late tonight. Sorry about that.
I forgot your number.
863.
Okay, very good. Actually, I thought maybe I would not hear you because I thought you'd already left, but I guess it's the last night and then you're going to be gone for a while?
Yeah, so I was in North Carolina last week, but I didn't bring the radio in the end. And I'm leaving on Tuesday, so I might be able to check in tomorrow. Let's see.
Okay. And where are you going after that?
Illinois for a few days.
Where? Illinois. Okay. Are you taking your radio? Are you taking your radio to Illinois?
I'm going to a hotel that I know is in the middle of town, so no. But next time I go to Illinois, I will be at my daughter's apartment. That's only 46th floor. In which case, I will try to dangle a random wire from the balcony.
Okay, we should try to work you on 40 meters. Do you have my home phone?
Yeah, you gave it to me last time. But that would be at the end of June. But yes, I will do that.
Yeah, don't hesitate to call me, because I can get on any time. And any time after 5 or so in the evening, we should have propagation. Local time here, 5 or 0000 hours.
Yeah, so how did the solar flares affect you, Mike?
Well, we had great conditions Friday night with FAI, field-aligned irregularities. It's like aurora, sounds like aurora, but it's a different phenomena. It's a magnetic field disturbance that you aim at. It's above Colorado, so I aim at 60 degrees, and then I can work people no matter where they are. Everybody points at the blob of whatever it is, and signals go in the blob and come out in all directions. Over.
Wow. Must have been fun.
It was a crazy thing. It works on 2 meters. I worked all over the West Coast on 2 meters using FAI in the past, but almost all the guys that I used to do it with have died, and so nobody knows about FAI anymore. But you first see it on 6, and you realize it sounds like aurora, but the signals are coming better if you point toward northern Nevada, northern Colorado. Over.
Okay, and I guess it's gone now, right?
Well, it could come back. We've got strange conditions again, so I would not discount it. Could happen any time in the next few days. Over.
But how do you know where to point? Is it always in the same place?
Yeah, it's always there.
So you need to point to Colorado.
Well, Colorado for me is 77 degrees. I found the peak was at 60. Over.
Okay, so you just go around and look for where the peak is, and you get signals coming from all over the place, right?
That's it. I worked Gordon down in Palos Verdes, LA area, and I worked him on 2 meters. He was pointing into the blob, and so was I from here over.
Wow. Yeah, that must be fun.
Yeah, it's weird. I've worked all over New Mexico and Arizona. When it happens, it's quite exciting, and signals can be really good if you got a good station.
Yeah, that's not my case, but at least I can rotate, so I can rotate on 2 meters and 23 centimeters. So yeah, at least I can do that.
Yep. I'll go to 144-200. That's where people would coagulate. And also on 6 meters, 125 to 130.
Who knows?
I'm sorry, I doubled. Also on 6 meters, that's where you normally hear it. You'll hear sideband stations on 50.125 or 130, somewhere down in that area, and they're all garbled. It's multi-level Doppler, and it's shifted about 250 cycles. It really sounds weird. Over.
Okay. Yeah, but I cannot rotate on 6. But I guess I can still catch the garble.
That's right. You still should be able to hear it if it's really strong. All right. Anyway, thanks for checking in late here. Good to hear you. And we'll have a safe trip this next trip, and then the next one near the end of June, maybe we'll work on 40.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Thank you, Mikey, for sticking around. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Same to you. Okay, anybody else in the Bay Area or anyplace else before we close the 2 meter Bozo Net? This is Kilowatt 6 Mike, Yankee, Charlie, standing by. Okay, I'm not hearing anybody, so I'm going to go in, guys. It's late. It's 9:30. Going to give this thing a ride here. Good night, all. And Aaron, are you here? I guess Aaron's still here, but not here.
Hey, I have a quick question for you, Mike, before you go in.
Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, so I don't know that there's anything peculiar about a certain spot above Colorado than, of other places that might come up, unless if there was a really strong, super powerful megawatt radar kind of a thing beamed up through the ionosphere from some facility above Colorado, or some high-energy laser stuff going on that we don't really know about, would that cause an alignment of electron density along the vertical Earth's magnetic field?
Well, I don't think it would cause FAI. I think that's something that's created by the sun, and the sun puts a big stress. Now, why we have this funny anomaly in that area above Colorado is an unknown, but it's been there for many years. I worked people in that area for the last 25 years. Over.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because when I go field irregularities, field aligned irregularities, I get a lot of stuff, and then they talked about electron density in the clouds and masses that align themselves vertically along the Earth's magnetic field, and they talk about, but I don't find anything that talks about the causes. But when I say FAI above Colorado, I get some Department of Defense type sites.
Well, they weren't there 25 years ago.
Yeah, some of the stuff was like 1988. They were talking about some of the, they were exploring them. So, well, I couldn't really understand a lot of, I was trying to kind of go site to site and kind of understand stuff as I went. But I did notice it was interesting that I got some of the pretty old 1988 stuff from Department of Defense where they were exploring those irregularities. But anyway, well, yeah, I'll have to aim up that way and see here. They said 8 p.m. to midnight typically.
Yeah, it seems to be more of a nighttime phenomenon. I would have to agree with that.
All right, Mike. Well, anyway, yeah. Well, and thanks for the deal the other day on that. So I talked to Lee, and Lee was a bit trying to figure out what we were doing. I said, well, give Mike a call, and he'll tell you. So that was what. And then he called me back and said I was supposed to pick it up, and then I'd pay for it. And then Matt, I got a chance to meet Matt. That was wonderful. Nice guy. And so he's going to fire me off a check here early in the week, I guess, so for half of it. So thank you. K6MYC, WA6LOL.
Yeah, okay. So they delivered it to the plant, and you picked it up there on Saturday morning?
No, actually, I picked it up when I came into town. I picked it up over there by the freeway, anyway, wherever Valley Iron is, and then I picked it up there, and then I paid for it, and then I had them cut it in two, and then I went over and dropped half of it off there with Matt, and then Matt said he'd have the gals in the office or whoever writes checks to fire off a check early in the week for half of it.
Yeah. Okay. No, I didn't want him to do that, but I was going to try and pay for it here. We're having a cash flow bind right now. Didn't want to have him to spend, but it's not a big deal. It's not a lot of money. We've got we're stretched to the limit right now. We've got $500,000 in accounts receivable, and everything's coming in, but we haven't got anything in the bank right now because we paid bills and stuff. So he's playing it very close to the chest right now. So if it's a few days late, don't worry about it. You'll get it one way or the other from me or him.
You know what? It's no hurry at all. So whenever, yeah, $500,000 in receivables. Wow, man, somebody should get on the phone and work those.
Well, they're in time. I mean, there's nothing that's delayed. It's just that we shipped a whole bunch of stuff, and it's all within the 30-day window, and the money will be trickling in over the next few days. It just isn't here right now. And so we've got, little companies like us have cash flow binds like that.
Yeah, it happens, and yeah, it was nice to meet Matt. That was wonderful. Yeah, so I hear about him so much, and then to meet him was kind of like putting a face on the name.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Well, anyway, I wanted to thank you for that. And I just told Lee to call Mike. He'll tell you what. So. However, they ended up doing it. But yeah, anytime is fine. No hurry at all. So whenever it happens. So K6MYC, WA6LOL.
But you did save the tax, right?
Yeah, save the tax, and I gave the receipt to Matt, and I said I don't need it. So I gave the whole receipt to him.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
K6USY 1079.
We hear you there, Aaron. I called you earlier, but you weren't quite home yet. Gotcha. Thanks for your help tonight, Aaron. I know you were gone.
Yeah, I was at my in-laws, and then I was out for a walk the last hour. I've been listening on my phone, so I've made it back in time to flip the rig on and check in with you, and then I'll shut the stream down here when you're done.
All right. Well, I think we're done now. I think Dave has got his questions answered there, and thanks for that whole effort, Dave, bringing over there, picking it up, and it saved us a lot of trouble. Matt just didn't have time for the hassle, and I didn't want him to do it either. I wanted you to do it all, but I was just trying to save the tax, which we accomplished. So I guess it was about as easy as it could be on everybody there. 73 WA6LOL, KMSSRR, K6USY, and whoever else, K6MYC.
WA6OIB.
We called you in several times, but I guess you were maybe called into the house or something.
Yeah, I was out brushing the horses there a little bit, so I was listening from far, but I must have missed you.
Well, yeah, we had Stan in here. Stan was working Aurora while we were working FAI the other night, and you would have enjoyed working Stan. You may have even worked him off the on the Aurora. He said he had 7 or 8 contacts on Aurora. He was thrilled. He said he was hearing me strong, but he was pointed north. I said it would have been stronger if you had pointed towards 60 degrees. Over.
Yeah, right. Point into it. Get the best out of it. Yeah, sorry I missed that. So anyway, I ran back in here to check back in, see how things were going. WA60IB.
Alrighty. Thanks, Ken. And 73. Sorry we missed the meeting the other night. I think Judy had taken one too many supplements in the wrong on an empty stomach, and she just was a little upset. Gave her a little diarrhea and stuff, and so just didn't feel like it was a good thing to go to the meeting, although I wanted to, and she was looking forward to the dinner out and all that, but she just went to bed and it didn't feel good.
Yeah, Rob gave us the info there. I'm sorry to hear that. We certainly missed you guys. And Gwen was disappointed she wasn't able to meet her. She hasn't met her yet, but one of these days.
Or what do you do? Just aim your beam north and bounce off of it and talk to people?
That's right. Yeah. Yep. Be ready for a very mushy, distorted signal, but and we worked out everything with CW. If you tried to work sideband with all that mush, you wouldn't be able to decipher much. But anyway, I think I had 8 or 9 contacts with Oregon and Washington.
On 2 meters?
No, I was on 6.
Oh, okay, wow. So you just kind of aim north, huh?
No, that's not FAI. He's working meteors. Not meteors. He's working Aurora. But what I was doing is working FAI. That's the cloud over Colorado. Different phenomena.
Okay, yeah, I was just trying to figure out the two of them because I don't know. I've never experienced an Aurora kind of a thing, so that was why. I know you were talking about the FAI at 60 degrees over Colorado, and I'd asked Ken about how. So Aurora, you just aim north and then bounce off of it and talk to people. Huh?
Yeah. And it's sort of diffused. You don't know where to point. It's not very specific, like you're not aiming at Sacramento or something. It's all over up there. It's just the same thing with the FAI. Everybody points to the cloud blob of FAI, and then the signal just radiates back out of this cloud in every direction. Over.
So were you saying that you kind of you get like a 200 cycle flutter on the voice then?
Well, it's the FAI. I had a 250 cycle Doppler shift, but it was also multiple Dopplers, so the audio was very distorted. I mean, I could recognize voices. Richard was in there, and they were readable on sideband, but super distorted. And the CW sounded like hiss, just hiss.
Yeah, I made some recordings. I'll send you one. I made a recording of one of my contacts.
You were on 2 meters?
He was on 6
meters.
He was on 6 meters, but you can do it on 2. You can't do, well, you can do Aurora on 2 meters also, but it's much better. FAI is much more effective for 2 meters.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll go mess with it, and I'm just trying to get some of the parameters here, and then I'll go see what I can do. Just down on the 144.2 and then 50.1.
125 and 30. We were on 130 for some reason last night. Richard KD6BQ up in Wassaw Valley was the first one I saw. I saw a spike down in the phone band, and I tuned down to see who it was, and it was Richard. And he was on 130, but he was on 130.2. And I said, why are you guys up here? Well, we're not, but it's just a Doppler shift.
Oh, wow. Huh. Doppler on terrestrial. That's cool.
Well, when I got home from the dinner on Friday night, I could look out to the northeast, and I could see the pink glow, and that's when I ran into the shack and just pointed into that glow.
Wow. Huh. Yeah, that's cool. Well, I guess I'll have to, so it's probably like about this time of night for you.
That's it.
That's right. By the way, Mike, Jeff, EQU, he was on there too. We were texting. He was actually seeing the aurora all the way down at his place.
Oh yeah, but he's up at Gold Beach, isn't he?
No. This is Jeff, WA6EQU, down by Magic Martin.
Oh, I don't know that, Jeff.
Yes, you do. He's a bozo. Jeff and oh goodness. Anyway, the guys that I used to work with.
Yeah, but the call sign didn't ring a bell. Maybe I just don't remember his call. I know who you're talking about, but the call sign didn't sound right. But I'll believe you. Anyway, yeah. Well, when I first moved here, I was living with Matt for just a few weeks because I didn't have a house or anything. I moved over, and I was living with Matt in Madera Ranchos. And god dang, if we didn't have a huge aurora that for 2 nights in a row the sky was all pink and gorgeous, but I didn't have a radio, so I missed that one.
Oh boy, frustrating, huh?
Well, yeah, I knew I could have done a whole lot of stuff with it, and I was unable to do anything except marvel at the pink sky. That pink sky, by the way, Dave, indicates a major stress of magnetic field. That's kind of what happens. The magnetic field causes that pink effect. It changes colors too, but that's the most common one down here. It's just a pinkish red glow.
So that's like increased electron activity causes an emission of light or heat?
No, it's magnetic field stress.
Oh, okay.
It's a stress effect.
Oh, okay. Well, you'll have to go out and look and see if I can see any of it. I hear people talking on the EME thing. I hear people talking about working aurora, and I didn't really know how to do it. So I'll aim my antenna up that way generally and see what I can do tonight.
Yeah, well, it's really rare down here. I mean, we get it. I mean, it's almost every year in Canada they have aurora of one time or another, but down this far south, it's very rare. And it even gets most south of us here. Sometimes they even see it in L.A. They were predicting that L.A. would see it this time, and they may have. But, yeah. All right, listen, guys, I'm going to go in. I haven't had dinner yet, so I'm going to go in and get my dinner. It's waiting for me. It's cold now, but I'll enjoy it anyway. See you all later. Catch you tomorrow night on 220 or 6 meters or something. WA6LOL, WA6OIB, KM6SRR, K6USY, K6MYC, clear and going away.
Okay, good night, Mike. WA6OIB. Good night to you, Dave.
Good night, Mike. K6MYC, KM6SRR, 73.
73, Rob.
Good night, Rob.
Good night, Ken. 73.
Ken, did you say something about VK9DX? I heard him. I kind of ignored him today because I was working somebody else. He kind of came in for a second. I didn't realize he's down there on an island off of Australia.
That's Norfolk. That's a rare one.
Yeah, and I just sat there and I didn't even think it was rare. I figured it was just one of those guys, so darn it.
Yeah, some of the guys are, I heard on the net, some of the guys were working him down there. By the time I figured out what was going on, it was too late. I was too busy.